Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm Michelle Olivieri. I am the GME Director for Lawrence Family Medicine Residency, and I am so honored to welcome you all, family, friends, colleagues, to the graduation ceremony for the class of 2023. Please join me in welcoming our first speaker for this evening, Greater Lawrence Family Health Center's President and CEO, Dr. Guy Fish.
Thank you, Michelle. Good evening, everyone. How are you tonight? Oh, good, good. All right. I am Guy Fish, MD, internal medicine physician by training, but been on a long walkabout on the business side and delighted to be, for the last 2 years, actually it'll be 2 years in exactly 2 weeks, President and CEO of the Greater Lawrence Family Health Center. I'm going to keep my remarks short tonight because we have a speaker following me who is much more charismatic, charming, and has more important things to say than I do. But I did want to start out by recognizing that this class in particular, the class of 2023, has grit. You've got grit. That is an amazing characteristic. You have been put through some tough times that no one would volunteer for, and you've come through on the other end shining. I'm talking about your COVID experience. That is not in the standard playbook for medical residencies. I will tell you a brief story because some of you have talked to me in the past and were worried about whether or not coming out of a training program that had 2 years of COVID-tainted experience, whether or not at the end of this you'd be ready for practice. Let me tell you this small story. I graduated from medical school, and about, 40 years later, I went to a reunion, and I met some guys who were in the medical school class of 1943 and 44. Now, you might remember that there was something happening in the world in 43 and 44, right? It was called World War II. And I met these guys, and they said something really interesting. They said when they were in medical school, they were rushed through, and guess how many years? 2. All of medical school in 2 years, and then they were sent to the front lines. All right? Some of them didn't come back. Some of them did. The ones who came back and came to the reunion were talking to me. And you know what? With only 2 years of medical school training, here they were, happy and successful, right? What does that tell you? It tells you about resiliency. It tells you about commitment. It tells you about character. Now, you weren't in World War II, but a pandemic ain't far from it, folks. You have resiliency. You have character. I call that grit. And so hats off to all of you. Now, last year was my first year, and so if I do it a second time, as my kids would say when they were teenagers, we've done it 2 times. It's tradition, Dad. I started a little tradition of calling the names of each individual graduating member because there's only 12 of you, or 11 of you, and why not, right? But more importantly, I want people to recognize where they are going next. All right, so we're going to start at the opposite of the usual alphabetical order with someone who's going to Loveless Medical Center in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Bev Williams. Please stand up. I started with Bev because she's going the furthest away from us. Not going so far is someone going to Merrimack Valley Family Practice. Patrick O'Neill, please stand up. One more person who's heading away, this one going to a community health center, which is really important because that's what we do. We do community health, right? It's not a medical center, it's a health center. And we're focused on the health of what? Thank you, the community, okay? Going to Hope Clinic in Houston, Texas, Tina Tran. This one breaks my heart a little bit. We almost had him. But, you know, life takes you interesting places, especially when you're married, right? So going to Piedmont, North Carolina, Community Health Center there, Miguel Joaquin. A little bit closer to home, another community health center. See a pattern here? UMass, Edward M. Kennedy, Federally Qualified Health Center in Worcester. Corinne Gibbons, stand up. And now is the moment I get all verklempt because, thank you, because the next 6 individuals are staying with us at Greater Lawrence Family Health Center. This is a testament to the program. This is exactly what the program was meant to be. It was meant to be a way of growing our own family practice clinicians to serve the community that they were trained in. I love the fact that everybody else is going out and spreading the gospel of GLFAC. But we're so appreciative that the next 6 individuals are staying with us, proving the model, proving that it works. My board members are here tonight, and this is a testament to them that their plan years and years and years ago really succeeds. First up, Elaine Aristide. That has got to be the classiest wave, Elaine. Also staying with us at Greater Lawrence Family Health Center, Denise Lobo. Please stand up. So proud and happy also to have the next individual staying, Patrick Salemi. Please stand up. Three more to go. One more staying at Greater Lawrence Family Health Center. This is the coolest thing. I mean, our MAs and PSRs know these residents, love these residents. Kathleen Sawson, please stand up. So happy to have you stay with us. Next, rocking a stunning green dress. Angela Sterling, please stand up. And certainly never least, in particular because this particular resident rocked my world, holding my feet to the fire to not only talk the talk, but walk the walk on environmentalism and fighting for the climate and the environment. Rebecca Weiner, please stand up. All right, that is almost the end of my comments, but for one very important thing. Now, shortly, I would like to have the board members stand up, but before they do that, there's one other group that I actually 2 other groups I want to recognize. Number 1, if you are a faculty member here at Greater Lawrence Family Health Center, please stand up for your recognition. Come on, Ryan, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you for all you do every day, your precepting, your mentoring, your guidance. It's all magic. It's really magic. Another group, before I get to the board of directors that are here tonight, the fact that the vast majority of our residents, came here understanding what a community health center is, when they could have chosen other specialties other than family practice, or family practice not in community health centers. The fact that they are actually almost all going to community health centers because they know that's where the need is. That's where the problem is. That's where you can change the world, right? This is not medicine as in an academic medical center. Look, thank God we live in Boston, and if you get super, super sick and need a fancy surgery, you can have that here, but 99% of our lives are not spent in academic medical centers. They're spent living your lives in the community and needing a caring doctor who understands your context in the community. And so to have sons and daughters who are now fully fledged physicians ready to practice independently, who are willing to be on the front lines in those communities, that is a testament to the moms and dads who are here. Please stand up, moms. Please stand up, dad. Finally, I'd like to recognize the GLFHC Board of Directors who made my being here possible and made all of this possible. Our board members are 50% community members by regulation. We have to have at least 51% community members. The other 49% are lawyers and bankers and people like that who can help. But we have several board members here tonight. Please stand up for your recognition. And my job is done. I am going to hand over the podium to our next speaker, Rosa Pena, Chairman of the GLFAC Board of Directors, which is the owner of the Lawrence Family Medicine Residency Program. So delighted to have Rosa come on up and give her remarks. Rosa is, by the way, a former employee of the health center. And so she's been here a very long time, knows it better than anyone. Thank you, Rosa.
Hello, good evening. Welcome, everyone. Health center staff, faculty members, residents, guests, and our exceptional graduating family medicine residents. Congratulations. On this momentous occasion, as the chairperson of the board of directors of our community health center, I'm a patient, a member of the community that we serve. I stand before you with immense pride and admiration. By personal experience, when we, as patients, go to the hospital, get admitted, and are being seen, treated, and cared for by one or more of our residents, the experience of that scary situation turns out to be more manageable. Our residents make us feel at ease and comfortable at that point that we are not just a room or a bed number. We feel like human again. The dedication, compassion, bedside manners, and future treatment plans that we come out from the hospital make us patients feel sheltered. I think that one of the most important factors in all of this experience is that you actually listen. Please do not stop listening to your patients. And I want to call out at this moment Dr. Joaquin and Dr. Peters. Thank you so much for the care in the hospital. I need to call them out. GLFAC and community health centers in general occupy a unique space in the delivery of our nation's healthcare. Unique in that a community-based, primary care-based organization run by a volunteer board of directors made up the members of the community it serves. It's responsible for filling critical gaps in healthcare that would be otherwise exist or vulnerable part of our country. And for 4 years, you all decided to join this movement. It's up to you guys. Today, we celebrate you with remarkable journey as you transition from residents at this health center to accomplished family medicine practitioners. Your dedication, perseverance, and compassion has been evident throughout your training, and we are confident that you will continue to embody these qualities in your future careers. You have chosen a path that requires not only medical expertise, as you all know, in a Dominican community, but also the ability to connect with patients on a deep and personal level. Your impact will extend far beyond the confines of our health center as you go out into the world and touch the life of countless individuals and families. As you embark on this new chapter, I encourage you to remain steadfast in your commitment to patient-centered care, listen to the stories, address their concerns, and their unwavering outlook. Your empathy and kindness will be a guiding light in the darkest moment. I know that's true. In the face of challenges, always remember the immense privilege it is to be a family medicine practitioner. Your role goes beyond diagnosing and treating ailments. It is about fostering trust, building relationships, and empowering patients to take control of their health. As you stand on this new phase, I have no doubt that you will leave an indelible mark in the communities you serve. You are the embodiment of hope, healing, and compassion. And our health center is proud to have been part of your journey. And for those of you that are staying at GLFAC, we could not be happier to have you as a part of our community long term. Congratulations once again to the class of 2023. I had a glass of wine, I'm sorry. You make a real difference in our lives. Thank you. Congratulations.
And now, Dr. Jennifer Summers, our Associate Program Director, will begin the group presentation of intern certificates. Can the intern advisors also please come up to the podium at this time?
So we're just going to take a brief pause from celebrating the class of 2023 to recognize the hard work of the class of 2026. Can you hear me? Good. I am so excited to recognize the class of 2026 as they move on from their intern year to the role of a senior resident. The R1 year is a challenging year, and you have done it with grace. You also have put up with a lot, so thank you. You have delivered babies, helped families through difficult times, and seen loads of patients in clinic. I invite you to come up one by one. I will present the first 3 certificates, and then I'll read the names. So first, Camila Chile. Dr. Camila Chile. Yes. Kristen Chu. Yesenia Martino Cortez. Sheila Iqbali. Jorge de Avila. Leah Jen. Ryan Huff. Emily Leboff. Brenda Navarro Galindo. Marissa Paz. Amanda Snow. Bronwyn Wada Gill. And while I have the mic, I'd like to recognize the hard work of several planners of this party tonight. The flowers are on their way. So Mary Lyman, Michelle Olivieri, and Elise Laflamme, would you come? Oh, you're right here. Thank you.
Beck and Denise did it all.
Truly, but we're celebrating them later.
And now, our Chief Medical Officer and DIO, Dr. Zandra Kelly, will announce the winners of the residency awards.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations to all of our graduates. So I'm going to just take a look. You can look in your program with me if you'd like. It is on the second internal page. And many of these awards were given at Lawrence General Hospital. So I'm just going to be reading them off here. So there is a Faculty Excellence Award for a GLFHC faculty member, and that went to Dr. Tuan Roy. There was also a Faculty Excellence Award to a Lawrence General Hospital faculty member, and that went to Dr. Jasmine Mikami. We had an Outstanding Teaching Resident Award that went to Dr. Beverly Williams. And this year, the Support Staff Excellence Award for support staff at Lawrence General Hospital went to the Nutrition Services Department. And the Residency Innovation Award this year went for those working on the HMed rotation. The fourth year Wellness Award went to Dr. Denise Lobo. I know there will be some recognition coming as well, but our Chief Resident Awards this year, Dr. Miguel Joaquin and Dr. Patrick Salemi. The AFMRD, which is the Association of Family Medicine Residency Directors, Family Medicine Residency Award for Advocacy, went to Dr. Tlali Moya Smith. And the STFM, which is the Society of Teachers of Family Medicine, Resident Teacher Award went to Dr. Miguel Joaquin. And the last one, the AFMRD Family Medicine Resident Award for Scholarship to Dr. Corinne Gibbons. Thank you so much. Congratulations, everyone.
And now a special presentation of the GLFHC Support Staff Excellence Award will be presented by Dr. Beverly Williams.
Okay, so I have the honor and pleasure of presenting the Greater Lawrence Staff Award this year. Being here and in this room with so many of our medical assistants, our nurses, our staff, and basically our family, I cannot tell you how grateful all of the residents who are here for each and every one of you. All of you are very special to all of us. There is one individual who has had an extra pep in their step. This individual is often there at clinic when you get there in the morning, and for some reason is always there when you're leaving. They are willing to help with whatever they can, always. Some of the words that come to mind when describing this individual are kind, hardworking, supportive, funny, goofy, fashionable in figs, incredibly intelligent, and a new one I just heard was, what a diva. So, even though I didn't give you very many obvious hints as to who this person is, I hope it comes to you as no surprise that this year's Greater Lawrence Staff Award goes to Kersey Gonzalez. So deserving.
Recognition of our class of 2023 Chief Residents will be presented by Interim Program Director, Dr. Nicholas Wida.
Miguel and Patrick, I already had the opportunity to thank you. Where are you? Miguel and Patrick somewhere. Oh, okay, yeah, right next to each other. at the awards dinner earlier this week, but I think one public acknowledgement of gratitude is probably not sufficient to recognize the immense contribution that both of you have made to the residency during your time as chiefs. As I mentioned the other day, both of you were indispensable members of the residency leadership team and continue to be as permanent emeritus members moving forward. And you did a great job training up your replacements, Lauren and Claire, who have seamlessly flowed into leadership following you. I also can't think of two individuals who are more Lawrence than the two of you. Miguel, understanding more about our patients just on day one than so many of us have known after many years and teaching many of us about that. And Patrick, as I have said, basically being a lifer here at GLFHC. Hopefully finally shedding the med school, med student Patrick name at this point. In my first year in this role, you taught me a lot about the ins and the outs and the daily routine of running this place. I want to particularly acknowledge Patrick's work as he took up a large role in our recruitment committee this year and interviewed and reviewed countless numbers of applications and sat with me during the stresses of ranking. And Miguel for being such a wonderful, perceptive sounding board when I'd ask, all right, how do you think this is going to go over? This idea, what do you think, how's that going to go over? And of course, want to thank Miguel for keeping me up to date on teenage culture and age-related linguistics, the new age linguistics, as well as Patrick for being willing to burn the candle at both ends at conferences that we've attended this year. I can't wait to see what both of you accomplish during your careers, and thanks again for your contributions.
All right, and now the class of 2023 is going to present a new segment this evening, Class Superlatives.
All right. Take one and pass it. Take one and pass it. Pass it. Pass it. Pass it. Mass. Pass it. Pass it. Pass it. Take two. Someone take two. Take two. More. Mass. Elena, take two. Elena, take two. Okay. Okay, we're a mess, but here we go. So the class of 2023 has been a very important election year for the residency. We voted on superlatives. So there are many shining stars across LFMR and GLFHC. Without further ado, here are some of the awards for the brightest of the bright. Fair warning, though, to the winners, the budget was very tight. There is no awards. Stay in your seats, okay? All right. So the Dr. Dre Award for most likely to drop a sick beat goes to Jesse Peters.
All right, the Dr. Mindy Project Award for Most Exuberant Personality is me. No, and Doctora Bronwyn Wada-Gill. Or as Maria Diaz affectionately calls her, Doctora Gil. Should I do another one? Okay, second one. Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell Award for being a trailblazing badass goes to Beverly Williams.
The Dr. Ken Jung Award for most likely to make you laugh goes to a tie with Patrick Salemi and Jack Gordon. And the Dr. Tobias Funke Award from Arrested Development for most likely to retire from medicine to audition for the Blue Man Group goes to Ryan Kamal.
All right. The Dr. Claire Fraser Outlander Award for most likely to be a time-traveling rural doc goes to none other than Talali Moya Smith. And the Dr. Strange Award for most likely to secretly harbor superpower goes to Doctora Angela Sterling.
Okay, the Dr. House Award for most likely to diagnose a zebra goes to Dr. Sheila Egbali.
All right, the Dr. Evil Award for most likely to take over the world, but in a good way. It's a tie between Dr. Tuan Roy and Dr. Josh St. Louis.
The Doogie Howser Award for the youngest at heart goes to none other than Andy Smith.
The Dr. Pepper Award for most likely to be highly caffeinated goes to Patrick Salemi.
The Dr. McDreamy Award for most luscious hair goes to Ricardo Camacho. And the Dr. Sanjay Gupta Award for most diplomatic goes to Dr. Miguel Joaquin.
Okay, so the Turk and JD Award for cutest BFFs goes to Dr. Patrick Salemi and Dr. Corinne Gibbons.
And to wrap us up, the Dr. Jack Shepard Lost Award for most likely to perform a beachside appendectomy on themselves goes to Vince Wade. Vince isn't here? Don't go too far away. Now, Doctors Denise Lobo and Rebecca Weiner will be coming up for recognition of staff. I told you not to go far.
Ready? Okay. So, welcome to the final sign-out of the class of 2023. So meet patient X, pronouns we, they, theirs, a 30-something-year-old with a past medical history of imposter syndrome who presented to Lawrence 4 years ago with a chief complaint of somehow not knowing how to dose Tylenol despite their intimate knowledge of the Krebs cycle. The patient was admitted to the Lawrence Family Medicine Residency under a service run by an extraordinary group of attendings, but mostly by the extraordinary Michelle Olivieri. The admission has been complicated. In 2019, they were repeatedly exposed to a diet of warm melon chicken, even though they explicitly listed this as an allergen in their medical record. But they were adaptable, and they found their footing and recovered enough by early 2020 to get in some rehab and an all-inclusive resort in the Dominican Republic. They did unfortunately acquire alcohol-induced hepatitis, but it was mild and worth it. Then by March of 2020, the unimaginable happened. The world upended as it did for everyone else. when they weren't calling patients from home searching for professional fulfillment and diagnosing and treating rashes on telehealth, they were practicing a sort of muffled, foggy medicine behind double face masks and recycled eye shields. But they were adaptable, and while they may not have gotten as many vaginal deliveries as desired, they sure did log an impressive number of hours jigsaw puzzling and bread baking. In 2021, normalcy emerged in fits and starts, only for 2022 to bring about the beginnings of a transformation in who they were as residents. They unionized. Oddly enough, the melon chicken stopped, and the changes kept coming, and they kept adapting. Now they stand in front of you today with hearts full of gratitude, and oddly enough, another touch of liver inflammation, possibly related to a brief transition of care in a Maine cabin last weekend.
Our residency experience has certainly been a bit tumultuous. But as our class has reflected on our experience, the one emotion we continue to come back to is gratitude. The list of thanks is long, and the appreciation we feel for all of you cannot be expressed sufficiently through words alone. But here we go. Many thanks to our PSRs who register and check in our patients, especially on those days the acute line is out the door, across the street, and to the parking lot. To our medical assistants and nurses who taught us the clinic ropes and worked and learned alongside us. You are the true MVPs. In the words of Beyonce, who runs the pods? MAs in nursing. To our pharmacists who ensure safe pharmacologic care by always double-checking our dosing and pesky medication interactions. Paxlovid, I'm talking about you. To our clinic administrators who ensure patients are seen and manage our clinic when the unexpected occurs, which often is the case at 34 Haverhill. We also thank our health center leadership and board members, some of whom are here today. Looking toward Lawrence General Hospital, AKA Larry Jen, there are many more thanks to give. We are extremely thankful to our LGH attendings who took us under their wing. Here is to our pediatric hospitalists, our neonatologists, our intensivists, and emergency medicine physicians. We also thank the rest of the Greater Lawrence and LGH staff, including, but not limited to, behavioral health, CSS, CHWs, laboratory techs, referrals, medical records, tech support, housekeeping and facilities, referrals, the call center, security, PTOT, respiratory therapists, nutrition, social work, case management, and spiritual support. We are so grateful for our residency attendings, both core and community, who have made it a priority to support our learning and development. We are the physicians we are today because of you. We are so appreciative of our co-residents who have endured our senioring and provided horizontal learning. You have been a true force of change and are the future of our residency. And many thanks to our res admin team who are the backbone to our residency experience. It would be remiss to not mention our loved ones who have supported us through the lows and celebrated with us during the highs, and have weathered everything in between. To our parents, who physically carried us as babies and metaphorically have carried us along this journey thereafter. To our families, chosen families, and friends, who support us both across state lines and in person. Thank you to our fur babies, our plant babies, and also our real babies, who cheered us up on those hard days and provided much joy. And here is to the significant others who also experienced residency by proxy. Thank you for relocating, for shouldering extra life duties, for providing support and being an integral part of our family. You too are graduating from the residency experience today. Congratulations. Lastly, the greatest of appreciation to our patients and the Lawrence community. Thank you for your patience for the visit wait times. as we grew our medical skills and spoke at times in Spanglish. Thank you for letting us care for you and your loved ones. It has been the greatest honor.
And now, Dr. Nicholas Wida would like to say a few words.
I got it. All right. To start, I want you guys to think of your favorite fourth-year resident, and now imagine their smile, particularly that wry, crooked smile they flash after you realize they've been saying something that's steeped in sarcasm. When I picture the individuals in this amazing class, for some reason, that's what keeps coming to mind. And if you don't believe me, you can just look at Angela right now, who's flashing that exact smile. In fact, they all are probably throwing that same mischievous smile right now. And I think that sarcastic, dry humor can be both positive and negative, but comes across so positively and so endearingly from your class because of the authenticity that you guys bring to the interactions with those around you. Whether it's Miguel sharing pictures and stories of his family, or Elena willing to tell you literally anything that's on her mind. And certainly the humor is preservative too. That humor has allowed you to endure and face tremendous challenges through these past few years. You were the last class to start training pre-COVID, to have a sense of what normalcy looked like before masks, COVID wards, Zoom calls, and other measures that were implemented, and while necessary, clearly disrupted both our Lawrence community and the residency community. And while this disruption could have broken your spirit, your class harnessed some of that last knowledge of pre-COVID existence and have worked to rebuild that community both internally and externally, particularly over the past year. In addition to being humorous community builders, an essential component of working at a community health center, you certainly are great, confident physicians as well. And yes, there is a readily apparent confidence of Bev telling you the perfectly constructed plan for a complicated labor patient, or Pat marching into my office to enlighten me on how we can improve our learning environment here in the residency. But also there's the more discreet confidence of Denise, who so elegantly picked up the mantle of wellness initiatives during her residency as well. And confidence without competence can be dangerous as a physician, and we often talk about that spectrum in residency education. But this class matches its supreme confidence with an undeniable degree of competence to back it up. Just ask any of the residents about the extremely effective didactics on hepatitis C that Patrick and Katie presented last week. But perhaps the most clear example of the recent confidence of the class is the degree to which you were so sure of your next steps post-graduation. I've never actually seen a class where everyone was so resolute and decisive in their search process as this one. And of course, as others have mentioned, I'm thrilled that so many are sticking around next year. And because of this tight-knit community that your class has established, I'm certain that even those who move away next year will still remain part of the class's community moving forward. In fact, graduation often feels like a very sad occasion for me for some reasons, just because you have so many fantastic physicians who are moving away from the community and taking the next step in their career, which is exciting, but also sad because we're losing them from Lawrence. But this year, it feels more like a see you around than a true farewell. And I and the rest of the faculty have been deeply honored to be part of your residency training over the past 4 years. We have witnessed your growth and resiliency over time. May your journey be filled with continued confidence, competence, and dedication to your patients. Continue to remember the power of that humor that you all have to lift your spirits during challenging times, and always stay true to those authentic individuals that you all are. Congratulations, class of 2023. See you around. I look forward to hearing from all of you over the next couple of years.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for, presentations of residency completion and areas of concentration diplomas. In addition to their diplomas, each graduate will be receiving a personalized gift, a replica of the mural on our North Site building. Thank you, Bob Lucier, who is also our photographer this evening, for making such beautiful pieces. Starting off with the first graduate of the evening, Dr. Julie Johnston will be presenting Dr. Elena Aristide.
I am honored to speak about Dr. Elena Aristide. Having been both her academic and AOC advisor, we have spent quite a bit of time together. Elena is as positive and nearly as eternally optimistic now as she was when we met in Rye, New York at a conference in 2018 when she was a medical student. She now has the experience of a physician who weathered a pandemic and learned to care for very complex patients and grow into an excellent family physician. Elena came to Lawrence with a clear idea of the physician she wanted to be, and it was our job to help her get there. Elena is dedicated to the care of women and their families. She was laser focused on providing reproductive health care in all settings, from obstetric deliveries to abortion care. During these 4 years, Elena has performed 61 colposcopies, at least 16 endometrial biopsies, provided a lot of contraception, including performing 22 IUDs and very many Nexplanons, and has delivered over 70 babies, and these are just the ones that she logged, so there may be more. Along the way to that goal, she excelled as a teacher and personal and professional role model to others, leading teams from the ICU to the labor and delivery unit with enthusiasm and compassion. Elena participated in research on emergency contraception and obesity, co-authored the 5-minute clinical consult algorithm on infertility, and many other projects. I have loved to get a glimpse into her very patient-centered interactions. For example, entering a room with a family and Elena talking in Portuguese with the kids about soccer, and everyone is smiling and laughing. This week, I was able to watch Elena support a patient through an abortion using hand signals, as the patient did not want to be surprised but also wanted to tune out with music. With a resident as optimistic and flexible with timelines and one to keep her options open, she may have been the last graduate to lock down a job, knowing that there's a lot of great choices, some of which are still in play tonight. We are lucky to have Dr. Aristide to stay with us at Greater Lawrence and also support her goals to work in reproductive health care outside of our organization. It has been a long 4 years, much of the time replaced with pandemic changes. Your skills have grown from the doctor that you wanted to be to the doctor that you have become. We are lucky to keep you on as a Portuguese and Spanish-speaking physician, now with a Spanish accent that is different from the Portuguese one. I look forward to continuing to work with you, Elena, as a colleague and friend. Your patients will continue to love you and value at medical visits. You are now free to shape your practice and your future. I wish you the very best.
Presenting Dr. Corinne Gibbons, Dr. Chelsea Harris.
I'm thrilled to be presenting Dr. Corinne Gibbons this evening. It has been an absolute pleasure to be her faculty advisor for the past 4 years. Corinne came to Lawrence with the highest of praise from her med school faculty at UMass. In fact, it was the best letter of recommendation I have ever read from Warren Ferguson. Soon after arriving in Lawrence, I quickly became a member of the Corinne Gibbons fan club. It seems almost impossible to capture Corinne's greatness in 2 minutes, but I'm gonna try. She is a smart, astute clinician who handles even the most challenging situations with grace and resolve. She's thorough and hardworking. Even as an intern, she handled the most complex medical scenarios deliberately and thoughtfully, seeking appropriate guidance, but not actually needing it. She balances confidence and humility expertly and brings out the best in those around her, learners, patients, and faculty alike. Corinne has accomplished much during the past 4 years. She has pursued extra training in colposcopy and sports medicine via her area of concentration. She has worked on research and quality improvement projects relating to the intersection of women's health and sports medicine, providing clinician education and improving access to resources for women with pelvic floor dysfunction. She has presented nationally at the Society of Teachers of Family Medicine Conference, where she was also awarded the Faculty for Tomorrow Resident Scholar Award. Internally, she was selected by the faculty for the AMFRD Resident Award for Scholarship. Of all the accomplishments of this year's graduating class, I also think it's noteworthy to mention the 5 beautiful babies born during this class's residency. I suspect Elsa, the firstborn to this class, is Corinne's greatest residency accomplishment. Like everything else, Corinne made something that is not easy appear easy. Doing all of this while being recognized by her peers as an excellent teacher and her patients as an exceptional doctor. One of her fellow residents wrote in an anonymous evaluation, you're probably in the room right now, Corinne is truly one of my favorite people to work with at GLFHC. As a doctor, she cares deeply about providing excellent and compassionate care for our patients. As a senior and a leader, she is humble, encouraging, and easy to approach with questions and feedback. She makes it clear in the way she approaches teamwork that we are all in it together and we are all still learning. I have so much respect for Corinne, and I am sad she will be graduating this year. I am in complete agreement with this statement. In the last few months, I have had several bittersweet moments, rounding one last weekend day on maternity and observing her say goodbye to her patients in clinic. But I know the best is yet to come for Dr. Gibbons. Corinne, we are so proud of you. I have no doubt you will be a leader in your new clinic, and your patients and colleagues are so lucky to have you. We are so grateful you chose Lawrence for your training.
Presenting Dr. Miguel Joaquin, Dr. Andrew Smith.
Too old, I need glasses, but I can't get them out. Okay, so I am presenting someone else's words, so if I go over, not my fault. Give me a second. Hey! Okay, Miguel, these are comments from your wonderful advisor, Carolyn Augert. It has been a great privilege to be Miguel's advisor for these past 4 years. From his first day in clinic, I was struck by his remarkable ability to put any patient at ease. His ability to be truly present with patients allows him to leverage that relationship and help patients be healthier. By partnering with them so that they feel empowered in their health-related decision-making. His exceptional way with people was also demonstrated in his skillful managing of complex interpersonal situations in the hospital, navigating the tricky waters of interdisciplinary teams on OB and adult medicine. As a big picture thinker and someone who strives to make the healthcare environment better for all, he chose health systems leadership as his area of concentration. It should come as no surprise that he was elected chief resident and did an amazing job during a time of great change for our program. Miguel's positive nature served him well as he strived to bring together multiple perspectives within our community. Miguel is much beloved by his co-residents. In their words, Miguel was one of the best seniors I've ever gotten to work with. A fantastic teacher who prioritizes learning throughout the day. He has the greatest clinical pearls. A team player and always willing to share the load, knowing when to push me and support me as an intern. I admire how he can manage such a high workload while staying present and supportive for the rest of the team. Truly an outstanding leader. Fulfilling the saying in that if you want something done, give it to a busy person. Despite Miguel having plenty on his plate, a new baby at home, and the chief resident job, this year he helped forge new Haverhill Street PCMH Team Morado, a pilot project to which he dedicated many hours. We are so sad Miguel is not staying with us, but his wife Julie matched to University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and Miguel will bring his sunny, can-do attitude and amazing clinical skills to Siler City Community Health Center, which serves the Latinx population. They are lucky to have him, and we will miss him very much. I'm sorry, Miguel. Also, Jonathan wanted to say something. So Jonathan, your AOC director, much more succinct, said, Dr. Miguel Joaquin, I will miss you. Witnessing you develop as a leader has been truly motivating. I'm privileged to have worked with you over these past 4 years. I look forward to seeing how you rise to your new opportunity in North Carolina. And then finally, if I may add, it is humbling to be able to stand here and celebrate Miguel Joaquin. Miguel has a way. I don't know anyone who does a better job of seeing the good in others and helping people feel seen and validated than Miguel. You could show up at a formal party with no pants on, and Miguel would find a way to make you feel like you're the best dressed person in the room. Hey, Andy, I love your style. It's so hot in here, isn't it? You're a really smart guy to show up without any pants on. I wish I had no pants on. You listen to Miguel for a while, and you start to believe him. And you begin to believe in yourself. It's a gift, really. So, as a physician, teacher, and generally great person, I can think of no better compliment than to say, Miguel, with your patients and with our community, you have embodied the philosophy of the immortal Leslie Higgins, who said, the best we can do is to keep asking for help and accepting it when you can. And if you keep on doing that, you'll always be moving towards better. Congratulations, Miguel, and thank you.
Presenting Dr. Denise Lobo, Dr. Suhani Bora.
All right. There you are. I am so honored to be able to present Denise with her residency diploma and also her integrative health fellowship diploma today. For those of you not familiar, I'll explain briefly. A couple of years ago, we transitioned from a traditional post-residency integrative medicine fellowship to one that happens within the residency. Tina and Denise were the second graduating class, and they've spent over 1,000 hours in the past 4 years working on this. That is an accomplishment. On a selfish note, I am thrilled that Denise will be staying with us as core faculty, and I'll be able to work closely with her. There's so many reasons why you'll be an amazing core faculty member, and I want to highlight just 3 of them. The first is her wisdom and groundedness. There are certain people who, when they walk into a room, They bring with them a sense of peace and calm. Denise is one of those people. Her presence itself is healing. Just by being who she is, she inspires me to be kinder, more intentional, and more thoughtful. She brings the steadiness with her to her patient encounters. Ever since her first year in residency, she can always see the forest for the trees. The second thing is bravery. Denise has taken the time to truly think about what really matters to her and what is important. This residency is full of really shiny new things to learn about, cutting-edge work in primary care. And of all the many possibilities, Denise chose to focus on sleep and nutrition. Not necessarily the most flashy ones, but the ones that are most important to patient care and to fill her cup. I think it takes courage to choose something that is meaningful for her, regardless of what other people may think. Last but not least, Denise is a role model for me and for many others. She truly embodies the two areas which she plans to teach, wellness and integrative health. She knows how to set boundaries, she knows how to say no, which are very life-sustaining skills. She has created the time to do the things that mean the most to her. One cat, her plants, her family and friends, and her pottery. She safeguards her well-being, and by doing so, she's an example to all of us and encourages us all to do the same. I'm so happy that I'm not saying goodbye, but that we're beginning a new adventure together as a colleague, friend, and partner in crime for the many, many projects that we have planned together. I look forward to working meetings and exploring different coffee shops with you in 6 months. Congratulations.
Presenting Dr. Patrick O'Neill, Dr. Ryan Dono.
Okay. So I will try my best to speak briefly to honor the great Dr. Pat O'Neill. I will start by sharing some thoughts from Josh St. Louis, his advisor. He's sad to not be here this evening to celebrate Dr. O'Neill. As a fellow Haverhill native, Josh can't describe his joy at seeing another local become an incredible doctor in our community. Both he and Pat grew up in the Merrimack Valley, seeing firsthand the effects of addiction on friends and family. Pat always brings his perspective to his care of patients, and it allows him such a depth of caring and understanding that patients find incredibly therapeutic. Josh often thinks of patients they have shared over the years who spent most of their visits talking about how much Pat has meant to them. Several have said many times that his help has truly saved their lives, and this is not an exaggeration. Now for my thoughts about Pat. First off, I couldn't agree more with Josh and his thoughts about his amazing way with patients. He and I have spent a lot of time on the mobile unit caring for patients in the throes of addiction and homelessness. And he's truly in his element, caring for those that are on the edges of our society. Pat has a gift to eliminate stigma with his casual and caring approach. He makes patients feel at ease when they share their stories with him. He's the type of doctor who went into this profession for all the right reasons, and the type of doctor we all would want to care for our loved ones. I'd like to take a minute to reflect on an old English proverb that I am certain we are all familiar with. The true mark of a great man is determined by his appreciation and love of a good dad joke. Sorry. Perhaps one of the most important points that I can share with you all about Pat is his pride in being a father. He embraces my love of dad jokes with vigor, and he all too often can be heard passionately talking about his daughter's new achievements. Being a parent and having to be a doctor at the same time is quite the imposing balancing act with one's time impossibly pulled in two directions. It's no small feat that he thrived in residency while simultaneously becoming a new dad. As a fellow father, not too long ago, I received some uninvited yet sage advice from a complete stranger. She gleefully looked up at my 3-year-old daughter who was perched upon my shoulders and affectionately said that I needed to change the world for that child. I share this story because I know with certainty that Pat, as a devoted father and an amazing doctor, is without a doubt going to make the world a better place for his daughter Maeve. To Sydney and Pat's family and friends, thanks to the bottom of our hearts for supporting him to be with us during this long slog of medical training. We are all better people for the time we've spent with him. I have little doubt that his career as a family physician championing patient care for the vulnerable of the Merrimack Valley will be world-changing, leaving our future generations a better place to live. Congratulations, Pat.
Presenting Dr. Patrick Salemi, Dr. Tuin Roy.
All right. It is my honor to be presenting Dr. Patrick Salemi tonight. I had like 10 pages written and I had to really cut it down. So I've had the luck to see Patrick, both as a friend and colleague, grow into be an incredible physician. As many of you know, Patrick first joined us in Lawrence as a fourth-year medical student. He immediately impressed us with his warmth and excitement and true passion for our patients. Patrick might want me to say that he also had unparalleled charm, but I won't say that much. He soon showed his true Lawrence nature during the infamous Lawrence gas explosions of 2018. This medical student went out of his way to assist residents with admission to the hospital since it was the right thing to do. Since then, he's earned the name Med Student Patrick in all of our communications. And Patrick quickly assimilated into our teams and became one of us. Needless to say, we were overjoyed when Patrick matched with us for residency. Med Student Patrick was soon to become Intern Patrick. Don't worry, I realize that doesn't have a good ring, so we still called him Med Student Patrick. As a resident, Patrick continued to show his innate empathy and compassion for others. I remember during COVID rounding, we were rounding a medicine, and Patrick made goals for the week. Most people make goals to drink more water or exercise. Patrick made his goal to smile. While this was an easy goal for himself to accomplish, it was not an easy feat to keep the rest of us all in good spirits as well. I ended up working with Patrick a lot in these days, and Patrick had proven himself to be a strong and astute physician as well. And those of you that are trying to draw commonalities between these two trying events, don't worry, Patrick and I did, and we came to the same conclusion. However, correlation is not causation, and I'm so glad that he has been a part of our residency. He has had the uncanny ability to drive genuine human connection and build something together. In the face of countless challenges that come with residency, Patrick remained steadfast and even became chief to take on bigger challenges, managing his co-residents. I've always said, for 40 residents, there are 50 opinions. But as the personal recipient of many texts, calls, and Zooms, I can attest that Patrick has worked tirelessly to truly make LFMR a better place. Of course, talking with him, you might not never know. Patrick is also impressive in his ability to navigate the fine line between confidence and humility. Patrick, you're an embodiment of everything that is good in medicine. You have unwavering dedication, commitment to excellence, and boundless compassion, all of which has left a permanent mark on those around you. I'm so excited that you've chosen to stay with us. And it's no accident that I'm working with you on your first day as an attending. It's really because I want to welcome you back as attending Patrick. While it doesn't have the same ring as Med Student Patrick, I'm still proud to see you here through 4 years and at the end of this journey. Congratulations, Patrick.
Presenting Dr. Kathleen Slauson, Dr. Ryan Dono.
Kind of wish I had a little bit more of a break. I have the distinct honor to reflect with you all on the true greatness of Dr. Katie Slauson. I'd like to take a minute to share with you all my perspective of being Katie's advisor over the past 4 years. Starting with intern year, Katie showed up with a sparkle of positivity in her eye, a desire to conquer the world of medicine, and I think she wanted to do every possible area of concentration that we offered. She wanted to do surgical OB and HIV and addiction and on and on. Something told me deep down, even after just meeting her, that she would figure it all out. Over the next few years, she proved to be a hardworking, dedicated, efficient, remarkably intelligent, and empathetic doctor. I'd like to say that while she may be this pleasantly calm, nice, and caring human being, for some reason, she also intimidates the heck out of me. I've struggled to put my finger on the root of this intimidation. I think it's because she is this amazingly competent doctor, and she makes it look so gosh darn easy. She knows the ins and outs of family medicine really well, and on top of that, she knows HIV medicine insanely well. I have to admit that I intermittently have had thoughts that would run through my head over the years, that she must have been this crazily competitive athlete growing up, the kind of person that would dunk over your cowering body. Recently, I mustered up the courage to ask her if any of my suspicions were true, and she responded with little hesitation, something to the tune of, "You betcha," and then went into a cascade of glory days stories about her times dunking on weaker opponents. It's rare that someone can balance this amounts of intensity, dedication, and capacity to be great, while also being so humble and kind. Perhaps my feelings are more of jealousy of the person that she is than intimidation. To be sure I was not off the mark on any of this, I reached out to her husband, Chris, to get his thoughts. He was quick to confirm my impressions of Katie. He reflected on her compassion for truly caring for Lawrence's community of patients, how patient relationships drive her to do what she does every day. He commented that her intellectual capacity was phenomenal. But most importantly, he shared with me that Katie is a wonderful wife and mother. Despite all of the energy she puts into her work, she has always more than enough energy left to support and love him at home. She is a natural mother, sacrificing so much to be a great mom to her son Noah. And he knows that she's so excited to have the summer off to spend some time with him and just enjoy being a mom. He did mention that, believe it or not, she has one and only one fault, and that is her obsessive love of ice cream. Katie, your talents are inspiring, and it has been a gift to be your advisor over these years. I am so happy that our time hasn't come to a close as you continue to work with us at GLFHC. Congratulations.
Presenting Dr. Angela Sterling, Dr. Azmina Bayani.
I have the distinct honor of speaking with you tonight about Dr. Angela Sterling. Yeah, she deserves that. I think we all know how accomplished Angela is. In addition to completing 4 years of family medicine residency, she has completed one of the most difficult area of concentrations in our program, surgical obstetrics, and with that is able to perform C-sections and assist patients with difficult births. She has traveled to Ghana and made significant contributions to maternal and child health, both here in Lawrence and abroad. Her work ethic, dedication to patients, and communication with patients and team members is extraordinary. I could speak at length about how wonderful of a senior she is on medicine and OB, how she's been functioning as an attending on many services for a while now, the kind of deep and impactful rapport she creates with her patients, or what a skilled and thoughtful clinician she is. This is all the while she beautifully balances her personal life while getting married and celebrating the birth of her beautiful niece. However, what sets her apart, in my opinion, is her general attitude and outlook on life and her passion for being a family physician. She brings a level of professionalism, humility, and kindness to her practice that is exceptional and exceeds that of even most attending physicians. She exemplifies humility despite her accomplishments, and this is a shared sentiment amongst everyone she works with. Her warmth and caring attitude is exemplified by the fact that she requested I focus on gratitude during these remarks. She is grateful for the opportunity to have trained here with her co-residents, faculty, and colleagues at the clinic and at the hospital. She is grateful to her patients who have been her greatest teachers. And she is particularly grateful to the medical assistant that we have both had the privilege of working with, Aneris Fernandez. And to close, I would like to share what Aneris has shared about Angela. To quote Aneris, "You were, are, and will be an example to follow. Your dedication, professionalism, and passion adorn any place. Your humility is one of your special characteristics. You love what you do, and you really care about each patient. Today marks a before and after in your successful life. I wish you the best, and I am sure that wherever you will go will bring light and hope. I wish you success in your new beginning of a beautiful story." I wholeheartedly agree with Aneris, and I am absolutely thrilled that Angela has decided to stay here at Greater Lawrence and will be an attending at our South Clinic site and continue her surgical OB work at LGH. Angela, you are truly the kind of physician that we all want to care for ourselves and our families in this room, and that's amazing. Thank you for allowing me to be your advisor and your friend, and I'm so excited to continue to have dinner and listen to Harry Styles together.
Presenting Dr. Tina Tran, Dr. Keith Noakes.
So I want to tell you all the great things about Tina, but they gave us a time limit tonight. So I'm going to have to keep it to some key things. And since it's residency graduation, I want to start off by talking about just what an amazing doctor Tina is. She is an excellent doctor. She knows her medicine. She knows her patients. She thinks deeply about their care and is engaged in their lives. She's an advocate for her patients at the individual level and in her broader efforts to address structural inequality in our systems. She's also an excellent leader and teacher. She supports her teams. And somebody said, she protects us from the storms, while role modeling compassionate, effective patient care and communication even in complex and difficult situations. We heard she's going to be taking a role at the Hope Clinic as a faculty in Houston, and they are so lucky. But I want to talk about how great a person Tina is, because I think it's so key to her excellence as a physician. And I think it's about Tina she is present. You know, there's a lot that's happened in the last 4 years, right? We've had COVID, there's been good times, there's been bad times. Tina's gotten married, she's had a baby, she's growing her family, and she's always this just deeply caring person who is there with the people around her, who is just deeply invested in how they are doing. The graduates each share 10 lessons by email at the end of residency. And Tina, in her reflections, noted the importance of truly listening and simply acting. And that hearing what's going on, recognizing the needs of the people around you and taking action, not making promises, not making a big deal out of it, just stepping into a role where you are needed at that moment in time. As advisors, we meet with our residents regularly to check in on how they're doing. And every time I met with Tina, at some point, she would stop and she would say, "How are you doing, Keith?" And it seems like such a little thing, but it was a question of such clear sincerity that every time it struck me. And that is what underlies Tina's greatness, that true, deep caring for those around her, her family, her friends, her patients, her colleagues. We will miss having Tina here, but I know she's leaving that legacy of care behind her as she moves on to her new endeavors. Congratulations.
Presenting Dr. Rebecca Weiner, Dr. Elise Laflamme.
I have the pleasure of presenting my advisee, Dr. Rebecca Weiner. I've worked with Beck for the past 4 years, but I have only known the bottom of her face for about 12 months. And I just confirmed how to properly pronounce her last name in the past 24 hours. Beck will forever remain special in my heart as my first 4-year advisee. I started as core faculty in 2019 and therefore was assigned my first advisee, Beck, during her orientation. Over the past 4 years, I've been honored to be in the passenger seat of her fully electric Ferrari and watch Beck flourish through her residency journey. The past 4 years have not been simple, easy, or without drama and significant changes here in Lawrence. Through all of this, Beck has remained poised and unwavering in her maturity and ability to take on complicated situations without hesitancy. When she sees a need, you can count on her to address it. My office mate, Dr. Ryan Dono, has gushed to me more than once about a needs assessment that Beck independently imagined and executed for the unsheltered community of Lawrence. You know that means something coming from the man who won the most awards in a consecutive 12-month period. Beck is well known as a team player. She's often taking on the work that she technically doesn't have to do. No one would falter if she left it for the next visit or the incoming resident team. But Beck is not a follow-up with PCP type of physician. When she sees my own patients in clinic, she dissects their most complicated medical problems that I've been slowly trudging through mud with for years, and takes time to consult our virtual specialist service, Maven. She puts 120% into the patients that she cares for, and she will not leave any stone unturned. Now that she's leaving my team, I'm entertaining offers for someone to help me with my patients. In non-clinical care areas of her life, Beck sparkles with team spirit and ensures that the people around her feel appreciated. She's a strong advocate for team wellness and constantly thinks of others. For example, last year, she single-handedly organized individual holiday gifts for our entire PCMH team, and also then co-produced a gift for our medical assistants for MA Appreciation Day. You should know that she also basically planned this event with Denise Lobo right here, and she created many of these beautiful centerpieces that you have on your tables. I believe that you can largely ascertain a person's character being in a room with them for about an hour or so.
If you spend an hour with Beck, I think you'll agree that one of her superpowers is the camaraderie, friendship, and collegiality that she shares with those around her. She will always find the people that need the most help and help them. And she will do it without any need for recognition, but simply because that is exactly the place that her kind-hearted soul directs her. I'm certain that Beck will always take the path less traveled, and our world will be better for it. We are so lucky to have you staying with us here at Greater Lawrence. Beck, congratulations.
Last but certainly not least, presenting Dr. Beverly Williams, Dr. Jennifer Summers.
Ooh, there's my notes. I have the privilege of presenting Dr. Beverly Williams. There are so many wonderful things to say about Bev, and I didn't even know where to start. But one of the first things that I noticed about Bev that was very impactful for me was the level of respect that she gave everyone around her. She had so much respect that she refused to call me Jenny for 6 months, instead referring to me by Dr. Summers, which surprised me every time. But she treats her patients in that delicate way as well. And it's such a gift that she gives everyone that she comes across. She's certainly a person that gives more to the community than she gets back. She, like Dr. Sterling, completed the surgical maternity area of concentration, which is a lot of work and a lot of hours. And I've had the privilege of watching her do many procedures, both in clinic and on the maternity ward. And sometimes I've wondered if plastic surgery missed out on an excellent trainee. She is fabulous with her hands, and her surgical skills are truly unbelievable. She also is intelligent, organized, and very tech-savvy. In Ghana, she reprogrammed Dr. White's phone to, every time his partner Sheila called, to say that it was his goddess divine, or my beautiful. Lastly, but not least, I've had the pleasure of getting to know some of her family and her partner, that now husband, Utkarsh. They've come over to my house and played with my kids, gotten to know my dog, and all of that. And usually my kids rope them into some sort of lawn game or something like that. And one time last summer, we were playing crossnet. I think some of you have played it before. It's like volleyball, but foursquare at the same time. And that is when I learned how fierce Bev is, truly fierce. And she's a wonderful athlete as well. My husband, who's a pretty good athlete and very tall, was in the leader square, which usually happens when we play the game. And Bev spiked it so hard into his chest, conveniently knocking him out of the leader square. I just think that that story to me really represents one of the qualities that we don't get to see enough of from Bev, her fierceness. And I think she can show it to us all as much as she wants. And Loveless, New Mexico, or Loveless Medical Center in New Mexico is so lucky to have her. I will miss her deeply, but I'm glad that she's getting to go home. Congratulations, Bev.
Thank you so much to everyone who joined us on this special bittersweet evening. And now, to continue one of our favorite Lawrence traditions, our annual graduation closing toast will be presented by none other than Dr. Karen Jacobson.
Well, you all get the award tonight. Thanks for sticking in. What a great night. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here tonight toasting our illustrious class of 2023. You are amazing. You are our 26th class since 1994. Four years is a long time, especially when you work so hard. There's so much learning that has happened, not to mention life itself, and you were living. Some of you fell in love, and maybe out of love. Some of you got married. Babies were born. Oh my God. You traveled, sometimes just for fun. Like you were gonna see the world again. You learned to bake even better and cook even better. You had parties, you got together just to be together with one another. Some of you hiked, you ran long distances, you read books for inspiration. You worked to try to repair the world. You have always looked out for each other. You were supportive to one another. You've been living. Your time here, as we've all mentioned, has been marked by COVID. Starting in the summer of 2019, blissful, trying to figure out, what does it mean to be a doctor? What does it mean to have responsibility? Oh yeah, how to put an order into the electronic medical record. And maybe I'll see a patient or two. That's it. You were amazing. And then the spring of 2020 came and all hell broke out. All the rules were changed. People were fearful for their own lives, being on the front line, not knowing exactly how COVID spread and who would live and who would die. You were wrapped in impenetrable masks. You wore hats, gowns, gloves. You could barely breathe. And yet, your job was to be at the bedside of critically ill patients. Sadly, many not making it, no family around. You were both the caretakers and their family. You were communicating with the family, helping them make decisions for their family members. It was surreal and exhausting, an experience none of you will ever forget, and none of us will ever forget. We are grateful to be here tonight to celebrate you. So, who are you, class of 2023, lovers of life? When I think of you, I see one big smile. I see you glowing. I hear, I have this. I can do this. Or maybe I need a little clarification. never afraid to ask for help. As the French say, you are comfortable in your own skin. When I think of a word that describes you, the word that bubbles up to the top is collaboration. Collaboration is an old word with its origins in the 14th century. Labor comes from the French and the Latin, meaning to perform manual physical work, to work hard, to keep busy, to pain, to strive, to endeavor, to struggle, to have difficulty, exert oneself, toil, suffer, be afflicted. You get the idea. Together. And so, you worked, you toiled, you struggled, and mostly, you smiled and glowed. What a legacy. And tonight, we are here to lift up our glasses to all of you. You can put them down now. To Elena Aristide, is that right? Elena, always talking, smiling, laughing, while you are thinking up positive thoughts, how to do everything better. Perhaps an occasional self-doubt, but that's okay. Elena, you're such a hard worker, and you go after your dreams. And lucky us, staying right here at Greater Lawrence Health Center. To Corinne Gibbons. Corinne, you're always looking for that pearl of wisdom. Your sensitive, metered, thoughtful approach makes others feel safe and secure. You listen. Your empathy is impeccable. Thank you. Off to Worcester, lucky them. To Miguel Joaquin. Miguel, your fresh outlook and willingness to look at everything from all perspectives is inspiring. Your genuine kindness and respectfulness sets you apart. You are there for the long run. You set your sights high and you go after them. Bound for Carolina, lucky them. To Denise Lobo, or Denise the Wolf. As opposed to some of the generalizations that people talk about wolves, actually, wolves have a lot of attachments to others emotionally from the time they are pups. And actually, they have an aversion to fighting with others. I think that fits you exactly. I've never seen Denise fight with anybody. And Denise, you develop such close relationships. You're so compassionate with all your patients. With the twinkle in your eye and that smile of all-knowing and connection. We thank you. Staying right here at Greater Lawrence Family Health Center. Patrick. To Patrick O'Neill, Patrick is a man of facts. No BS with Patrick. I know I'm being a little BS. I should have said the real word, but I didn't. Okay, Patrick, he says, let's just figure this out, what's really going on here, and let's go after it. If we need to tweak it, we will tweak it. Patients never get anything less, and they always get everything more. Thank you, Patrick. Off to Lowell. To Patrick Salemi. Patrick, oh, this looks good. Oh, I think I'll try it. Sure, why not? Never afraid to take risks in uncharted territory, but always keeping his footing, not to go too far astray, always smiling and beaming as he adventures and does great things. Lucky us, staying right here at Greater Lawrence Family Health Center. To Katie Sousen. Talk about someone who just keeps going that extra mile. Resolute and driven. Marathon runner. I can do this in a kind and gentle manner, working at the details, leaving no stone unturned, making sure the job is done right. Lucky us, staying right here at Greater Lawrence Family Health Center. You're up, Angela. To Angela Sterling, hails from Florida in that soft spoken voice that each word counts. Don't be confused. Those words come from action. Her action comes from pure grit. Angela, you are ever present with fortitude, wisdom, and kindness. Lucky us, staying right here at Greater Lawrence Family Health. Tina, I want to call you Tina Turner, but I'll say Tina Tran. Tina, you're all about the why and the how. If you want something done and you want to understand it, you ask Tina. Always with a smile, effortlessly, tirelessly, warm and all-knowing, but never cocky. Tina is there in the moment and in the future. Going back to Houston, lucky them. Rebecca Weiner. Beck hails from New Jersey. Woohoo! Very much in keeping with your state's reputation. No one is going to push you around. You look things over pretty well, up and down, before you make your move. And when you do, it's solid, 100%, and out comes the smile. Lucky us, staying right here at Greater Lawrence. Bev. Bev Williams hails from New Mexico. Bev, you have that positive energy that's infectious. Talk about that glow. Even I feel like I kind of glow just being around you. Bev, you take a complex situation and you slice it and you dice it. Not getting overwhelmed, you just keep moving and you have that focused, piercing eye that you just keep going. You don't know the word no. If there's a way to do it, you will find it. Lucky them going back to New Mexico. Now you can raise your glasses. So to all of you, to the class of 2023, you are an amazing group of human beings. We thank you from the bottoms of our heart. You have served this community so well. We wish you much success, much happiness, and keep on living life. Mazel tov and l'chaim.
We're not done. To send us off to an evening filled with music and dancing, I am excited to introduce a very special performance from Lawrence FMR's own talented, wonderful, amazing, phenomenal, did I get all of that? Dr. Vincent Waite.
right, also from